hello world. Good morning, Pilipinas. Welcome to our The Teacher Voice. This is an hour show that aims to give teachers the opportunity to talk on air about their unforgettable journey, thrilling adventures, share their splendid wisdom to inspire and give hope to our listeners and viewers. This show airs by the Philippine Las Vegas radio station located in the heart of Las Vegas every Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And in the Philippines, it's Sunday, 9 in the morning. I am Teacher Judy, your host, and my co-hosts for tonight are Teacher Pasita Ross from New York.
Hello!
And our dear Tita Josie Harrison from Las Vegas. Kamusta Las Vegas?
Hello! Happy Independence Day kahapon. Pero I'm celebrating it today. Hi, stay with us.
Yes. So Tita Paset and Tita Josie, can you tell us about your yesterday's event sa New York, sa Las Vegas? May mga firecrackers kahapon, ano?
Fireworks, a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I went to my daughter's place in New Jersey. Everybody was there, including all the 5 apos. We were there. Of course, the eating and the games and all that. We had a nice, wonderful time.
You cannot miss eating when you are in the midst of Filipinos. No. Let's go to Tita Josie. We will see.
Well, Las Vegas is really well known for celebrating Independence Day. There are a lot of casinos that really shows off what they have. Really? And being the first celebration after the pandemic, it was a blast. But we elected to stay home because we know it will be crowded. And you know how it is. Fred is 24-hour oxygen, so we elected to stay home.
Oh, okay.
Regards to Tito and regards to Tito, Joe, and tell him that soldado siya eh. So salute to him.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, mayroon tayong mga pasabog sa ating mga families back home. Mayroon tayong pasabog, Tita Josie?
Well, sana ay nakikinig sila at nanonood. Alam naman nila na live streaming tayo. Lagi tayong nasa Facebook. Simultaneously tayong live sa Facebook and YouTube. Sana naman natulungan natin sila kahit na through virtual, no? Marami tayong information na isi-share sa kanila. And that is the purpose of this show.
Yes. Tita Paset.
Yes, I'd like to greet the Philippines, my family, especially the teachers at home. Hang in there, malapit ng inyong school year, the end of the school year. So you better get refreshed and have some fun before you begin the new one in August or in September. Hello, everybody.
Yes. Good morning, good evening to all Filipino teachers and even to our families back home. And tonight we are going to, this is a beautiful interview. This is going to be beautiful. Awesome interview with a beautiful in and out person. Ang heart nito ng taong ito is very big. So, at siguro si Tita interviewee natin will give us also mga inspirations sa teachers right now na may mga pandemic dahil master ito when it comes sa when it comes sa pagtuturo. So, Tita Josie, can you please read the bio note?
Okay, my pleasure to introduce our special guest for tonight. Actually, I will call her a mystery guest for tonight.
Mystery guest.
Yeah. She is a multi-awarded educator for her many years of educational experience in the academy, ranging from elementary, business school, and the last 15 years as deputy chair of the graduate program in education and special education. As a professor, she has been responsible for hundreds of international students coming to New York and some ultimately staying to teach in many levels of the educational system in New York.
Okay, Tita Paset, please.
Our guest tonight, in the beginning, she came to the US. She passed the Fulbright Scholar test and completed her graduate studies at Northern Illinois University, while she was also an actress in theater, television, and film, from which she was also a multi-awardee. Now, as a retired educator, our guest devotes her time to supporting wherever her expertise is needed in the field of education. And also, while still doing artistic projects, all incomes of which are donated to seniors and the disabled in the Philippines. Wonderful.
Wow, I can't wait to introduce this woman. Hey, guys, ladies and gentlemen, our guest for tonight is Professor Lorli Villanueva, otherwise more popularly known as Miss Lorli Villanueva.
Welcome.
Welcome,
Ma'am
welcome.
Lorli, good evening.
Hi.
Good.
Good evening.
So let's give her time to greet the family back home and the rest of your friends.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Maayong gabi sa inyong tanan.
Ay,
Mao
Bisaya
pa
pala
gabi.
ito.
Mao pa nga gabi. Maayong hapon diha, maayong gabi. Si Lorlin I hope you are all well. Stay safe dira sa Pilipinas kay taas kayong COVID karon.
Tama.
Okay?
Yes.
So,
I
that's
have
all
a first question. Tita Lorli, Ma'am Lorli, Professor Lorli, Dr. Lorli, I have first question. Taga-asa man ka sa Pilipinas?
taga Iloilo gud ko pero sa Cebu ko na eskwela unya
Oh
Kinadi
my.
kay military bang god. Sige, we were transferred from place to place. Tacloban, Samar, Sanglit, kay balog ko magwaray, kay balog yapon ko mag-Cebuano, mag-Ilonggo, but I'm really from Iloilo.
Yeah. Okay. Tita Josie, pasensya ha, basta Bisaya, gwapa daw eh.
Talaga. Talaga.
Okay.
Agree.
Second emotion si Tita La Josie.
Yes.
Oh, wow. It's so nice to see you here, Tita Lorli.
Yes.
So
of
I
course.
think Tita Paset has a question.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Lorli, for a start, can you please tell us your journey sa Pilipinas muna during those times when you were enjoying the glamour of show business? Tell us about that for a little inspiration.
Well, whether it's showbiz, the arts, or teaching, you always try to do it right. You always try to do the best you can. It is a profession. Akala ng ibang maging artista, ego trip. Hindi. Trabaho ang pag-artista. Pinag-aaralan yan. Kung gusto mong maging magaling na artista at respected, And I was an actress in the theater first, being a founding member of the Philippine Educational Theater Association with Cecile Guidote. And then when Lino Broca became a film director, siyempre magkaklase kami niyan sa workshop eh. Mga kakontemporary ko si Lino. So I started doing films, and then the films, television came after. So it was theater, film, and then television later on. So I became an actress, nakapanalo ng mga award. But in between that, I never left my teaching. I was always a teacher. I was teaching at Philippine Science High School. I was the dean of the Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Pasay for the undergrad. I was teaching grassroots theater. I was teaching educational theater anywhere and everywhere in most schools in the Philippines. Hasta sa mga bundok ng Davao kung saan we were using theater for social change.
Really?
And later on, some of my films, most of them were very good Lino Broca films, like Tinimbang Kang Ngunit Kulang, Bayan Ko, Tatay Kong Nanay, all those things. And then lately, the biggest thing that they have been putting on in media is the remaster of Oro Plata Mata with Peque Galiaga. So
Very well done.
with that,
Yeah.
mhm, so ang background ko talaga, dalawa lagi. Bakit? Palagi akong nasa teatro o sa arts and then teaching. And the beauty of that is that
Okay.
you develop this creativity, which I have always said all teachers should be creative. Kasi the challenges you get in the classroom are spontaneous. Mga bata, your classes, even your lesson plan changes last minute if you have
Right.
to.
That's
And
right.
that only comes about you don't get stuck when you're creative. And how do you develop that creativity when you have a creative background and develop na sa arts ko? So I have always, all these years, maintained that teachers should go for an art class, theater training, or something that will let them explode their creativity into the classroom.
That's
Para
right.
hindi maging boring ang classroom, you know. Karamihan sa atin naiinis dahil matutulog ka na lang sa mga maestra, lalo na sa history, pamimemoryahin ka ng mga dates, etc. But history is a story.
Yeah.
You know, if you can translate that story, that those dates into a story, makikinig ang mga bata, makikinig ang mga estudyante. But if you assign them, let's say, okay, anuhin nyo na yung story ni Queen Elizabeth, for example. Di mga dates lang yon at kung ano-ano, nowadays, Princess Diana, gano'n. But behind that, if you can tell them a story about those dates, nagiging interesting ang history.
Right.
At one point, I was teaching in the elementary, which was actually my first job here sa New York. Kasi napaka-stab ng New York. Pag wala kang teaching certificate, hindi ka mapasok sa Board of Ed. So I taught at a private school. And the only job opening was to be a science teacher. Isipin nyo, artista ako, communications graduate, Fulbright ng English literature, etc. Tuturo ako ng science. Hello! But you know, I took on the challenge. Never say no. Ang Pilipino, believe ka eh. Malakas ang loob. I said yes. At the end of the year, I was science teacher of the year here in Harlem, competing with other schools. You know what I did? When there was a science fair, they asked every science teacher to bring in an experiment from the students. Okay? Ang ginawa ko, nag-experiment kami ng pulley, how the machine works.
Okay.
Pero hindi mga drawing o mga gadgets or what.
Oh.
Ginawa ko ang mga batang katawan nila ang naging gadget.
Oh.
So, para dun sa chuk, 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 lahat sila chuk, 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 habang nag-chuk, chuk, chuk, ang forma nila parang machine. So,
That's so
the end, it was so creative that we won the science fair that year. So this is what I'm saying about creativity. Don't get stuck with what you have in the book.
Yeah.
Always think outside the box, no matter what level of grades or studies you're teaching at. In a recent talk at the consulate, Poch Macaranas, Ambassador Poch Macaranas from AIM was saying this. The only word I have for today, he said, is creativity. Because even as a manager, you have to be creative. In your profession, you have to be creative. In business, you have to be creative. In everything you do, there is creativity. So this is why I have always lived in two lives, my art and my teaching. So,
beautiful. Oh
yan.
my gosh.
So,
Isn't that wonderful, Tita Josie? I think
Well, you know,
Tita
I just have a comment, Lordi, Doctora Villanueva. I have a son who is a comedian, and exactly the same as you are advising your students, because that's exactly what I told him. I said, if you are a comedian, the first thing you think is that you deliver the punchline of your joke and you're done. I said, how boring that could be. I said, somebody watching you and that's all you do and you're done. I said, but if you know how to dance, if you know how to sing.
Thing.
At first, he said, "Oh no, mom, that's da 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 da." Oh, he has so many words. In the Philippines, we have the word bakya. She said, "Oh, that's bakya." No, Joe, I said, you are making yourself a commodity that is very sellable. You are very sellable because you have some quantities or qualities that the other comedian doesn't have. I said, no, if you select a comedian, you just straight the line comedian. That's it. But when they say, "Oh, Joe, he can dance, and guess what?
Different, yeah.
That's what he's doing right
It's a
now.
package
He's
deal.
dancing and singing, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
money
you, Mom.
knowing everything.
He has everything
Alam niyo,
already,
Ma'am, I
Tita
met your
Josie.
son already.
Oh,
I auditioned to be his mother, to be you.
Oh,
And I
wow.
think-
wow.
yeah, I think even Sharon Coneta auditioned, but something happened that I don't know. Something happened that she didn't get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kasi
I have a
comedian
question.
din ako eh.
I think
Ano,
it's
comedian.
Terry Carreri. Terry Carreri.
Tia Carrere.
Yeah, I think
Tia Carrere.
Okay. So, much more. I want to ask you, Dr. Lorli.
Lorli na lang kasi
Oh.
nagiging senior ako pag doctor.
Oh, okay. All right. Isa ito sa mga, Tita Josie, isa ito sa mga humble na mga nakilala namin
Right,
dito
that's
sa New York.
right.
So that is why I salute Ma'am
Lorli.
or Lorli. Hindi ako gusto na Lorli lang, tita na lang. Okay.
Okay, tita na lang.
Tita Lorli, which came first? Ang pagka-actress mo or pagka-teacher mo? Which came first in your journey?
Actually, I took the theater workshop in 1966, the very first theater arts workshop of Cecilia Dote
first.
Peta.
Tita Lorli, that time I was just only 1 year old.
Oo nga. I was not yet graduated
Madugo, ito
from
madugo,
college.
okay.
Wag mo nang i-remind, kaya nga
Oo,
ayaw
sige.
ko nung-
I know, please.
Okay.
Don't say those.
So anyway, at that time, kasabay ko na si Lino, sila Orlando Nadra, sila Mario Jara. Anyway, I didn't have a job. And theater doesn't pay you anything. Lalo na ang panahon na yon. Mga starving artists ang lahat.
Correct.
So ang sabi ni Cecile, bumaba ka dito because I was studying in Baguio College's Foundation, which is the University of Cordilleras na ngayon.
Okay.
Sabi ni Cecile, bumaba ka na dito kasi apparently she saw that I'm probably one of her promising graduates or whatever. Sabi niya, bibigay ko yung teaching ko sa Philippine Science sa'yo. So I taught at Philippine Science in 70-71 after I graduated from Baguio Colleges. And so in a way, sabay ang teaching ko at saka pag-aartista. Kasi sa araw, nagtuturo ako. Sa gabi, nasa Fort Santiago ako. Ang mga damit ko, ang lahat-lahat ko, nasa likod na ng kotse yan. Para akong vagabond. But
NPA,
I'm
no
very proud
permanent
to say.
address. Oh.
Ha?
No permanent address ka kung saan.
No permanent address. But I was very proud to say that because I was working a real job, a paying job, I was never what you would call a starving artist. Meron talagang konti.
Correct.
Kasi nagtuturo ako at nag-aartista.
Yeah.
And God has been so good and to me that I cannot say anything but thank you. Dahil in both professions, I call my acting a profession.
Okay.
I don't call it any ego trip or anything na artista. I have always been blessed na pareho silang naging successful.
Wow.
So, yun lang. Nung dumating ang pito-pito, alam mo na yun, dumating yung araw na 7 araw lang tapos na yung pelikula. Naisip ko, wow, I said, mukhang I'm prostituting na my art. You get paid, but you don't see the joy of doing a character. And that's when I decided that siguro it's time to go abroad. My children were growing up. I'm a single parent. I had 4 girls na pinag-aaral ko mag-isa. Yuda, alam mo na. So I came here. And I am also blessed in the sense that I came here at the height of my career. Sikat na sikat noon si Maxima Labandera, naalala
Right.
niyo yun?
yeah.
Yung Ajax commercial.
Yeah, that's
Ikaw
true.
yun?
Oo. Tikalye 11.
Okay.
So,
Oh my
sa
goodness.
kasikatan ko, saka ako umalis, kaya siguro hindi naman ako nakakalimutan hanggang ngayon.
Oh, yes.
Good,
Wow.
good. Good timing, kumbaga.
Okay, Tita Paset.
Yeah. I am struck kasi ngayon may binabasa ko, it's all about creativity sa education. And you are very right, Lorli, na a teacher has to be creative. Like you said kanina, make history come alive. It's a story.
Yeah.
So i-dramatize mo,
Yes.
diba?
Yes.
And then your science, the little things. Yung ano mo, I don't think I would have thought of that. Yung pulley, mga bata, meron pang sound effects sila. It's really something for ano. So creativity. Now, remember the workshop I had asked you to conduct for AFTA?
Yes.
Yeah, oo. No, yung creativity, it's about creativity. Now, my question is, yung pagiging artista mo ba, did it help you in your performance as a teacher? And how much of your being an artist helped you become the consummate teacher that you were?
Yes, I really believe that once you are an actor, remember teaching is acting.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
acting.
that's true.
Yeah, when you come into the classroom, you have to hold the attention already of the students.
Correct.
Pag pumalpak ka, wala na yung attention nila. Wala.
The
Lalo
day
na dito
over.
sa Amerika.
Right.
Hindi sila nagre-respeto ng maestra kung hindi sila sisigawan o ganon. But that's not my style.
Correct.
You come in with confidence. Let me tell a story. Nung una akong na-hire, science, I told you.
Science teacher.
Sabi ka agad nung principal, Lorli, I want you to come upstairs and talk to the students. Oh my God.
What?
Wala akong preparasyon. Ang tiyan ko parang bato na nakaganyan. Tigas-tigas. Kasi hindi ko alam kung anong sasabihin ko sa science. So umakyat kami that was her immediate yung observation of me as a teacher. So grade 4 Harlem to 135th Street here in Harlem.
I know that's
And
good.
in that time, Harlem was the pitch of all the drugs, the everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So very unruly talaga ang mga bata. Pagpasok ko pa lang, nagtatapon na ng mga eroplano, mga libro, walang nakikinig. So I just stood there for a few minutes hanggang gulat siguro sila nga, nakatayo lang walang sinabi. They started sitting down. Then I said, oh my God, Lord, help me. Ano kayang gagawin ko? Ano sasabihin ko? Naalala ko sa aking purse, alam mo naman dito, lalaki ng mga natin, mga bag, di ba?
Right.
Kompleto na lahat dyan. Toothbrush na lang, kulang, underwear, lahat nandun na sa loob in case of anything. So I had a calendar ng Phil-Am Life sa loob. Nadala ko galing sa Pilipinas.
Oh.
In that calendar, there were gumamela, tarsier, ganon.
Okay.
So I started talking about the flora and the fauna of Asia.
Oh, okay.
And because they have no idea about these things, about the waling-waling, etc., they were stunned and they were dumbfounded. At the end of that period, they were all sitting down and wanting more.
Oh.
So this is what I'm saying. Yung quick thinking na yan doesn't happen to everyone. It happens in the theater, in the training of an actor. The creative mind becomes alive when you are in the middle of something that you need to save yourself from. And that's it, So this is why I say teachers should be creative. Don't be boring.
Yeah.
Sa lahat naman, ay nako, kailangan even your voice, the way you say things, then your acting mo sa will keep those students alive and stay with you. So,
Okay,
yun
so I
lang.
have a question with regards to what you said. Do you believe that teachers are creative by nature? And if so, if they are not creative by nature, how can we develop teachers to
Creativity.
become creative?
Creativity. You mean those who are born boring or whatever?
Right. There are some teachers who are very boring, and that's why learning is not in there in the classroom. So,
Alam mo ba,
uh-huh.
this is my belief. No, but everybody was born as an actor. Everybody.
Wow.
Everybody.
Bata pa lang tayo, nagsisinungaling na tayo pag tinanong tayo ng nanay, isn't that acting?
Totoo
Isn't
na
that
sa buhay ni
acting?
Tita Josie. Oh. Tita Josie, actress niyan eh.
Huwag ka na ba
No, Tita Josie, wag mo na taguin yan.
Hindi
Okay.
ba pag nagtatago tayo ng something from our parents, we're already acting that out?
Okay.
Oh!
Yeah.
So, first class ako dyan ah. Okay.
So I
Victorian.
truly believe that all of us have that capability. Kailangan lang
Oh.
kalkalin.
Wow.
Kailangan lang buksan ang pinto para mag uninhibited. You know? It's the inhibition that keeps us down. But
That's true.
with the training, you know when it is right to just open up.
The train.
You don't have to be
right.
afraid of anything.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Tita Josie?
Well, I think for me, I agree with you. You have to be creative, and at the same time, when you was confronted with that situation, instead of reacting negatively to that situation, you found a way how to get them
Wow.
to be more
True.
positive towards you. So I think you won, so I think that is what we are supposed to be. If we see something negative, we cannot jump into it and dig or dwell more in it, because there is no good result from that. But what you did is found something to, how can we get out of this situation? And you did. More power to you.
Thank you. Sabi nga sa Tagalog, huwag kang mangarag. Mag-isip ka, kalmante lang, huwag kang mangarag. Dahil pag natakot ka na o mangarag ka na, wala na.
Yes.
Let me tell you about a Filipino teacher who was with me in that school. She was teaching math. Alam mo mga bata, talagang mga salbahe doon, Harlem to, no? Tinatapon yung mga libro sa kanya. Then one day, I was looking at the window and I could see papers flying finally.
Out of
Mga silya. Uy, nahuhulog galing sa bintana sa itaas where her class was.
Totoo yun.
So I ran upstairs to see what was going on. Bakit lahat ng mga libro, mga papel, mga silya nahuhulog na sa bintana. You know where she was? She was under the stink, cowering. She was so afraid of the kids. She could not control the situation. Nandun siya sa ilalim humahagulgol.
Oh.
Sabi ko sa kanya, patapangan ng loob ang pagtuturo, lalo dito sa Harlem, the neighborhood where we were starting our careers in New York. I
Is that
said,
a Filipino?
Filipino.
Okay.
Sabi ko, pag pinakitaan mo natakot ka, talagang tatakutin ka ng mga yan. Sabi ko. So, this is what I'm saying, huwag kang mangarag. Stay where you are. Yeah, and think. Creative thinking. Anong gagawin ko kaya nito? Ayaw magsipakinig. Kaysa itapon mo na lang sa bintana.
Yeah, that's right.
Diba?
15 years ka din, Ma'am Lorli, right? 15 years sa Department of Ed? 15.
No, I was the deputy chair of the graduate program in education, special education at Truro College and University System. It's called the university system because we had branches in Russia, in Florida, out of state, and out of country. So it's a university system. But here in New York, I was handling the graduate program in the Bronx, in Brooklyn, in Manhattan, in everywhere where we had all this. I was a administrator, and I would advise teachers what to do, and I would observe them and help them pass the test. And let me tell you something about passing the test. I retired in 2014. I hope it's better now. But in my time, the majority of those who could not pass the tests were Filipino teachers.
Oh,
Most Filipino teachers, good as they are in the classroom, are deficient in writing.
correct. Yeah.
In writing here in America, especially that there is a style of writing here which is acceptable. We don't need all those flowery words that we learn in our Philippine literature.
True.
Here you stay simple,
Correct.
but
To the point.
direct,
Yeah.
and know your paragraphs, know your points of period when you need your period and all that, which Filipino teachers are very weak at. We
Correct.
like complicated sentences. We like complex sentences. And. Wala, hindi ka papasa sa test dito pag ganyan.
Yeah. Very
So I would,
powerful.
I would conduct private lessons here at home for free on weekends. Dun sa mga mahihina. Dahil gusto kong pumasa sila eh. Nawa naman ako.
Is that for the teachers?
Yeah.
Teachers, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
for them to pass the the state tests here to be certified, or otherwise they cannot teach in New York without the
Correct.
certification. Alam ni Chit yan, di ba Chit?
Yeah.
So
That's-
can you tell us about that more? Because I think there are some teachers who are, very interested about that. Can you tell us that, Tita?
The certification test is, this is something I noticed about testing here in America. It's actually a skill. It's actually a skill. You have to know the psychology of how they make these tests. But more importantly also is that you have to have the communications ability. Sinasabi ko na how to write properly. How to write proper, simple English that is understandable in the American system. Kasi nga sa atin, sa Pilipinas, pag nagsulat, parang poetry lagi. Ang lalalim ng mga Ingles, ang
Correct.
lalalim ng mga vocabulary.
That's true.
Hindi kailangan yan dito. Hindi. Ang kailangan dito that they will understand what you're trying to talk about. And you should remain simple, and
Exactly.
know where your paragraph should end.
But
Wala,
can you
sa
tell us
atin, walang paragraph eh. Tuloy-tuloy.
yeah, I'm sorry. Can you tell us about your advocacy of helping teachers? The one that you mentioned a while ago. Can you tell us about that? How do you do that?
I used to ask them, pag once or twice nang kumuha, hindi pa rin makapasa.
Pumapasa.
Gusto niyo pumunta sa bahay. On Saturdays and Sundays, we can sit down and we can review this test and see how you can improve yourself so that mapasa niyo ang mga tests. So I used to conduct that I had Nigerian students, African students, Russians, who could not also pass the test. It's not just about Filipinos, it's international. And they have a hard time passing the test. So I conduct it here at home for free.
Wow.
So until now, are you still doing that?
Ay, hindi na
now?
ngayon, nag-retire na ako eh. Kung hanapin nila ako, di hanapin nila ako.
Yeah, because it is a very good advocacy to help teachers, especially those who have tried many times and then they failed to get scores, good scores.
I actually started with that because I was originally hired by SITE, the Center for Integrated Teachers Education, which is a private group. And they conduct these review classes. So after, I was teaching at La Salle High School in Manhattan before. And nakita ko tong sa bulletin board ng mga teachers needing communications, etc., certified teachers. I was certified. So I applied for the job by phone and they accepted me. So I conducted all these review classes every Sunday. I go to different schools. May mga master na doon na nag-register. Tapos magkakandak ako nitong review classes sa kanila. And after about 2 semesters, tinawag ako ng presidente ng site. Sabi niya, who is this Lorli Villanueva, Lorli Di Maala? 85-95% passing daw ang mga reviewers.
Wow.
Sabi ko, so tinawag ako, pinapunta ako doon. Tapos sabi niya, we're opening an office at Turo College in Manhattan. Sabi niya,
Oh.
we would like you to be the deputy there. So
Oh.
I was deputy initially of a private group, sitting across Dr. Palomine, the vice president of Truro College.
Oh.
Wow.
And nakikita nila how hard I work. I stay there 14, 15 hours hanggang hating gabi nagtatrabaho ako. And the enrollment rose from 350 to 1,500 students.
Mm.
You
In
know,
one
Chit,
year?
that when I was deputy chair of Truro, it was the highest number of teacher students in the whole state. We were even 100 students more than Columbia.
Wow.
Really?
In
In the
education.
only the
In
teachers,
Truro College.
All the teachers, yeah.
education students.
Yes.
Okay,
Wow.
okay. So, exactly, kasi your department is also, that's education and special education.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about, kasi sa Pilipinas ngayon, it's the fad or craze, yung special
Yeah.
education, na they're giving it more attention than before, no?
Yes,
Yung panahon
yes,
natin,
yes.
wala yan eh. So ngayon,
Yes.
what can you tell us about the special education program ng Truro College?
Ay, sorry. Sorry,
That-
nahulog.
Oh,
Nagtelepono ko nahulog.
oh.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, can you tell us about the special education program that so that teachers can also get some ideas from you kahit na hindi sila nag-aral ng special ed sa
Yeah. In
college?
fact, ako communications, don't forget. Hindi ako hindi ako special ed. I just read a lot, and from seeing and hearing and conferences, I began to learn a lot about special ed,
Special
autism especially, which is a big thing. Ang feeling ko sa Pilipinas ngayon, kulang na kulang yan. They don't understand what autism is.
No,
They don't know the
Yeah.
application of the gifted and talented.
That's true.
They cannot even what I call this, pick out a student who needs
That
special
help.
attention.
Special help, yeah.
Sa classroom, pag sutil ang bata, sutil is bad boy.
Yeah.
Oo, pag nagsutil, basta i-punish na lang. But that
Correct.
kid might be special ed.
Correct.
That kid might be towards being an artist and not in regular education.
Correct.
So these things, one of my daughters is a behavioral analyst in education. These are the people you need, graduates of special ed, who we need in the Philippines to pick out in a regular classroom who special ed students are. This takes out the responsibility or most of the responsibility from the what I call principal, who are not even trained to see or deal with special education. So we have counselors, and our counselors only deal with psychology. They don't really understand how to teach special education.
Correct.
So I have been focusing on this special education thing, because if you are a school or if you are a private corporation or whatever, you don't even need to be a school to offer these non-degree courses of autism, let's say, the study of autism.
Yeah.
Kasi ang mga teachers can take that as a seminar. Policemen, principals, nurses, healthcare workers, because they deal directly with this, and especially in special ed because of drugs problem nowadays.
That's right.
So it's really a huge thing for our educational system to open up to this. I have a school I'm dealing with right now where I suggested that they invite a visiting professor to talk about special education, somebody known here in New York, one of my professors, whoever, to the Philippines,
Okay.
to attract students into being interested in special ed
Correct.
and the application of special ed in the classroom. And then I am suggesting that they invite Filipino teachers from here
Correct.
who are exposed to special ed to do a semester each time over there, just to expose our teachers there in special ed, the reality. In fact, they did not know. In talking to this university, I'm talking to university. In talking to them, they didn't even realize that the sign language is now an accepted foreign language in
Yes, it
special
is.
ed.
Right.
Yes.
Mhm.
Because we don't take care of our
This,
PP
yeah,
and all of that.
correct.
You know,
No.
nothing, none of that sort. So,
Uh-huh.
ang daming realization, nagdadadak ako,
Totoo,
You know,
yes,
but
yes.
yung
But I
ating
do-
yeah, our bureaucrats in education sa Pilipinas, they have to I don't know what to say. They just don't have I don't know the expertise or the enough knowledge to see that the students are come in all different, the range of the kinds of students we have is so wide. There is this gifted, and then there's the needy ones.
Yeah.
Wala tayo.
and those are medically also yung mga Down syndrome, yung mga yung mga
Yeah, yung
medically
mga-
talaga.
Yeah, there's so many layers and levels of disability, di ba, or giftedness, and our education system hasn't or doesn't recognize that.
I'll tell you why, Chit. Because our leaders or most of those who are on top are so egotistical, they don't want to admit they don't know it.
That's
They
true.
don't. There is no humility among our management or our leaders.
Exactly.
They insist they know more than somebody who's suggesting.
Correct.
You know?
Yeah.
It's
They
all
won't-
about an ego trip.
They won't
Yes.
listen to ordinary folks like you or me or the ordinary
Yeah,
teacher.
yeah.
Teacher
Or
lang
the
kayo.
experienced one. The experienced one.
Tama ka.
Yeah,
You
let's go
really-
back. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's go back to our special ed education, even back home. Tita Lori, what can you advise for teachers who are there right now, special ed? They want to come to America. What are some of their preparation in order to conquer, to be effective in teaching special ed here in America? As what you mentioned a while ago, that it's not that they don't know, but maybe they lack or they need improvement, right, in their system, in their
Exposure.
exposure like that. So those teachers who are there right now that they are specialized in special education. They graduated special ed. They have been teaching special ed for many years, and they wanted to come here. What can you advise them?
My sadness is this. Most of our teachers want to come here because of economic reasons.
Yeah.
That's the sad part. And that's the truth. You cannot blame them because mahirap talaga ang buhay sa atin, That's why when I talk, I don't know, Chit, if you remember, and I said, we all have our different reasons for coming here.
Correct.
Sure.
But for the most part, it is economic.
Economic.
Correct.
Yes.
Right? So those teachers, unless their motives are really very noble to come here just to learn about SPED and go back there, karamihan hindi na talaga babalik. Ang ending niyan, dito na sila.
Yeah. Oh.
Kaya nawawalan pa rin ang Pinas. Nawawalan pa. Kaya nga, ang suggestion ko, yung galing dito, umuwi doon even by semester only or a year, like exchange professorship, to teach special education.
Yeah.
Kasi kung galing doon papunta rito, hindi na yan uuwi balik sa Pilipinas.
Yeah, but they
Sigurado
have, Tita Lorli, they have the government, they have this binding agreement with America or other countries that these teachers are going back to the Philippines after 3 years.
That's the J1.
That is the J1 visa, right? But there are some teachers that they don't want to go home for, as what you said, economic reason. But that is a very good suggestion that they have to go back and then do some trainings in there because they are exposed here already. Pero tita, ano ang mga preparations nila in order to be prepared in teaching here?
May I just say something, Lorli, before you answer that? For me, listening to our conversation, shouldn't that be the administration of the school to offer such orientation or make the special education special? If it is about autism, they should offer orientation about the
Professional development.
because depending on the teacher, I think that will take a lot from them because, like you said, they come here for economic reason. They might not have to spend time for that, not unless a person like you who has so much interest in the welfare of the students.
What you're saying is that administration should be responsible for this.
Well,
You mean
in a
here in
way,
America?
offer them something because let me just share something to you. Way back when I was the governor of Lions Club International, I was invited in Nanjing, China, and I was a keynote speaker in one of the school there in China, and that is dealing with special education, especially in autism. And you will not believe this because the course that I attended and gave a speech is that they were offering orientation and education about autism. So I think we owe that to our students, to our teachers.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Let me say something about that. The problem always is when you suggest something like that, administration will always answer you this way. Wala tayong pera eh.
Pera.
Lagi yan.
Yeah.
All the time. When you say, mag-conduct tayo ng workshop ng ganito, ang isasagot, wala tayong pera eh. Anong pambayad natin? Anong panggastos natin dyan? That is always the answer. So we're really dealing not only with the idea of, we don't lack teachers. We have a lot of good teachers.
Good teachers.
What we need is good leadership for direction.
Exactly.
But this good leadership always needs money. The answer will be, saan tayo kukuha ng pera para dyan?
How sad.
And it's very sad. It's very sad.
How sad.
Because as I said,
Pero tita, excuse me.
taas manggaling dapat yan eh.
Exactly.
Pero what I mean, Tita Josie, are you talking about administration here, the school?
No,
Or
from
in
the
the
Philippines,
Philippines?
because
I will give you a little background about this. Those professional development, the hiring agencies, like the staffing agencies or somewhat like that, they are also giving that kind of service. They do. So even back in the Philippines, I think Tita, what is that?
CFO?
CFO.
No, that's not enough.
Oh, it's not enough,
It's
but they are
seminar
trying to
for-
help also teachers.
It's the
But you see, we
seminar-
do need that also in the Philippines because we have special kids in the Philippines. A lot of schools should really have that
I
kind
think
of program.
Chad, the Commission
Yeah,
on Higher Education, they do
education.
that too. Yes, right. So, wow, parang hindi tayo tapos nito dahil Tita Lorli, daming-dami ka pala. Very rich ang mga ideas ni Tita Lor. So,
Yeah, that's true.
right now it's 7:54 and we have little time. Tita Lorli, we are very happy that you
Pinaunlakan.
Pinaunlakan. Ano yung sa Bisaya, Tita? Ang pinaunlakan.
Anong sa Bisaya mo? Ikaw dapat may alam.
Ito, taga Iloilo man to, Tita Josie.
Sabihin mo na lang,
Ano na-
ihatagan panahon.
Gitagaan mo kami sa panahon na, okay. Ito si Tita Pasit, taga man to, taga Oriental. Oo.
I know that.
So, alam na alam. Si Tita Josie kasi taga Makati. So, iba yun eh. Tagalog. Pero thank you, Tita, na pinag-ulakan mo kami, binigyan mo kami ng time para maka-share din ikaw ng iyong rich
Knowledge and wisdom, experiences.
No. Yes. Ang hindi ko I will never forget this. Every time I see this word and I hear this word, creative, that's Lorli Villanueva.
That's right.
Okay. So,
That's
Tita Pasit, Tita Josie, and then Tita Lor, at ako, this sequence, we will have our quotes. Sige. Una si Tita Pasit.
Okay. First of all, Lorli, I really appreciate your this interview we have with you, especially when you focused on and emphasized creativity, because that's what is sorely lacking among our teachers. Marunong sila ng content, pero how to deliver the content is dead. Patay, walang flavor. Okay.
Walang buhay.
Walang
Yeah.
passiones.
Yung mga bata natutulog or anyway, okay, for my inspirational quote, I was just browsing Facebook and I saw this. This really strikes me a lot. It's a lot from I.M. Pei, the Chinese architect who is a very well-known architect in the world. Okay, and he says this: success is a collection of problems solved. Success is a collection of problems solved.
That is right.
Yeah. There's no
Right.
success if we do not actually undergo some difficulties and challenges,
Totoo.
you know? So challenge is when a problem is solved, that's success.
Wow, thank
right.
you.
Wow.
Sige, si Tita Josie.
Yes, magtitita rin ako. Hindi ako sanay magtita-tita. Kay Tita Lorli, I just want to say that your persona really exemplifies class.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Your whole persona right now,
Thank
you
you.
know, you talk with class, you know, your face, everything is so beautiful with you. So thank you very much for what you have shared with us today. And my quote for today is, the most wasted of days is one without laughter.
Yeah.
Wow.
true.
Sige, mag-laugh-laugh tayo ah. Wow, ang ganda yan.
Very true.
Okay, Tita Lor.
Okay. All I want to say before I go is that leadership is humility. Okay? Do not compete with others, compete with yourself.
Correct.
Exactly.
That's all.
Wow.
That's all. Keep
Ang
yourself.
ganda, ano?
Very good.
Perfect.
Alam mo, kung apat tayo sa isang classroom, wala na.
Walang
Tapos na.
problema. Yeah. There's
Sana, Tita Lorli, nakuha mo yung yung ikaw sana
Oo nga eh.
magiging ako dun sa movie. Naku.
Oo, sana eh.
Nakita ko nung director ni Jokoy at saka si Jokoy at saka at sabi ng director, "Oh my God, she is so funny." Alam niya siya na comedian. Kaso lang yata na-casting na nila dahil na-late na ako pagpasok ng audition tape. Oo.
Okay lang.
But okay lang. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
right.
That's true.
So it was not meant for me. Maybe another time, a better
Not
time.
yet. Not yet. Not
Oo.
yet. Yes.
Diba?
So si Tita Paset, success, about success. Si Tita Josie, about laughter. Oh, wow.
Laughter.
Si Tita Lor is about
Leadership.
leadership. Ako na naman, babalik ako sa creativity ni Tita.
All right.
You cannot use up creativity.
Mhm.
The more you use, the more you have.
Correct.
Yes.
Totoo
Very
yan, Tita, di ba?
Yes.
At saka,
Amen. Yes.
daming tao na nag-rich, become having more money because of creativity.
Amen. Yes.
Patent lang nila, Tita.
Bakit naman ako may creativity din ako, hindi rin ako mayaman? How is that?
This is about Tita Josie. Laugh na lang tayo. Laugh.
Okay.
Laugh. Okay. So, thank you
Okay.
very much. Well, this is so amazing to have you guys in our show. Tita Josie, Tita Paset, Tita Lorli, beautiful women.
Thank
Even
you.
with all this white hairs in
Beautiful
our...
senior women.
Yes. True.
Ako,
So next time,
in-emphasize ko yung senior.
i-emphasize natin ang senior.
Naku, ha?
Ako ha, ikaw naman Tita Lorli, hindi pa ako senior ha.
Oo
So I
naman.
love to be with the senior people, like
Well,
especially
thank you.
women like you guys.
What a
Wise.
compliment.
It's so beautiful. It's so
Wise
beautiful.
women.
And then your wisdom, very special to me. Once na si Tita Paset, si Tita Josie, Tita Lorli, pag sila na dito, nagaganito na lang ako.
Thank you for everything.
Oh, yes, Tita.
Thank you.
Next time, we may invite you again. Okay?
Yeah,
To have
anytime.
another episode. Right. Thank you, guys.
Anytime.
We are
Thank
very
you.
happy to have you all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a
Bye.
good evening.
Congratulations, ladies.
Bye, Lorli.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.